Nigel Farage has a few choice words for the treacherous Tory Remainers who pulled the rug from under our EU negotiators this week, betraying 17. 4 million Brexit voters.Bloody or for people.My contempt for career politicians knows no bounds. Have you ever been to a reception and had a drink with these people? They're ghastly. I never wanted a career in politics.I still don't, says Farage, who worked in the city full-time until he became an MEP in 1999. The only reason I stood is because I felt it was my duty. Farage cares deeply about his country. An enthusiast of military history, he has spent the best part of his adult life rallying the troops to free us from the European Union, a mission fueled, he says, by gin and adrenaline. For many years, the liberal establishment ridiculed him as a mav-erick, a racist and a clown. Today he stands as one of the most successful politicians of his generation, but he has made many sacrifices. My life is not easy. There's a lot of aggro to deal with, he says. I can't walk down the street in London on my own. The level of aggression and unpleasantness is constant. I'll never be able to live a normal life in London. I have thought about the States.Life as easier over there, but I am very English. I like going to watch cricket at Lord's. I like my walks on the North Downs near his home in Kent. So, we'll just have to see. It is quite tough. Quite tough. Like all Farage, the sheer nastiness of many die-hard Remainers since the British people voted to leave Europe is a disgrace. It is why we meet in his Westminster office, rather than in one of his favourite watering holes. Farage has been shouted and sworn at, pelted with X, had the bolts on his car wheel loosened, received numerous death threats, and cannot so much as slip out of his rented midweek home in Chelsea for a pint at his local without security. Even more appallingly, Farage's family are being targeted. too.He has two grown-up sons, Samuel, 28, and Thomas, 26, from his first marriage to former nurse Claire, and two daughters, from his second 18-year marriage to German-born Kirsten, who are just 17 and 12 years old. We've got a very unusual surname, so it does leave them a little bit vulnerable. I tell them not to engage. Ignore it. Don't answer back. They're not going to win, are they? It's also so. He fumbles for the right word. Unfair. I'm okay, he says. But he doesn't seem okay. Today, he is red-eyed and his voice is raspy. A few days before we meet, he was in bed with the flu. It laid him low for 48 hours, which, I imagine, made him feel pretty sorry for himself. reality is what the boozers get. That maudlin, what had I done with my life feeling the morning after, he says. I don't drink that much anymore, not compared to what I used to drink. Which, by all accounts, was enough to float a small fleet of ships. He chain-smoked, too.There's an ashtray overflowing with butts on a utilitarian bistro table outside his office, but he doesn't light up once during my time with him. Does that mean there aren't one or two regrets along the way? Of course there are. My family, my kids could have had a bit more of me. Which brings us to the elephant in the room. His marriage. Nigel describes himself as 53, separated and skinned since his wife Kirsten revealed they were living separate as lives earlier this year. Her announcement followed reports he was sharing his Chelsea pad with a 37-year-old former waitress mav-erick, now the executive director of a think tank. He dismissed rumors of affairs as crackers until a kiss and tell from his one-time advisor, Annabelle Fuller, was published. It included a handwritten note from Nigel that ended with the words, "I only wish that I had been free for you." With all my heart and body love, Nigel. There are private things in life that should stay private, he says. One thing I've learned in this game is don't trust anybody. They'll all let you down in the end. It's just money, isn't it? People want to make money out of you. When you've lived on the road out of a suitcase, year after year, fueled by gin and adrenaline, all sorts of things happen. It's part and parcel of not living a settled life. It is abnormal in every sense. You are living a parallel life apart from your family. I stopped this helter-skelter non-thinking life last summer. When we resigned as leader of youth to take back my life. Right back at it's been a year when I've had to readjust things a bit. Recent reports claim Nigel has remortgaged the £600,000 marital home in Kent to fund a separate house nearby for his wife and younger children. There's no money in politics, particularly doing it the way I've done it. 20 years of spending more than you earn, he says. I have big expenses, lots of kids to pay for, and things like that. Today, he sees his daughters a bit. Not as much as I'd like. He admits that they have their own lives. They do their own thing. Family breakups are never good. Leaving my children when his first marriage ended was very difficult. Very, very difficult. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I spoke to my eldest son last night. I speak to them most days. I want to be involved. But things in relationships often run their course, and what can you do? Do you do what millions of people do, and pretend it's all okay for the rest of your life? There's a lot of people doing that. I think to myself sometimes, what have I done well? What have I done badly? I've never gone out of my way to hurt people. I think I've just been pretty obsessed fighting this cause to the detriment of almost everything else. For the past 10 years, it's been a 7-day-a-week obsession, and everything else has fallen into second place. Farage never envisaged a career in politics. Educated at the all-boys Dulwich College in South London, he nurtured the passion for cricket and all things military, so set his sights on the army until Margaret Thatcher came to power in 1979 and he decided to enter the city. It was an excessive lifestyle with excessive people, and a very male-dominated world, he says. The speculators were the most lunatic bunch of people I've ever met. You can guess who I was attracted to. He has always belonged to the work hard, play hard school. He says, pretty fatalistic about life. At 21, he was almost killed after being hit by a car, suffering injuries to his head and his leg, which was so badly broken it almost had to be amputated. He was in hospital for 4 months, in plaster for 11 months, and continues to suffer with tinnitus from his head injury. It's a bloody nuisance, he says. But I met Claire, who went on to become his first wife, who was working on the ward. Within a year, however, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. It started with a blinding pain from the kidney down the left side on Boxing Day 1986, he says. I was misdiagnosed and messed about so much you wouldn't believe it. After weeks and weeks of going back to the outpatients clinic, I was getting iller and iller. My left testicle was the size of a lemon and rock hard. I went to get a second opinion, and was operated on the next morning. Afterwards they said, "We're sorry we weren't able to get to you earlier, your blood count is off the scale." You will have secondary cancers in the stomach and lungs. It was pretty bloody bleak. beatitude, sod it, just get on with it. Close quote. He told me the cancer hadn't spread. Others don't. I can see you are going to be in the latter category. Within a year Nigel had married Claire. Their sons, Samuel and Thomas, soon followed, while his career in the city and carousing continued at a hectic pace. I just had this belief we were going absolutely the wrong direction, and I couldn't see there was really anyone much in the establishment who was prepared to stand and fight for this country. Within a few months the British economy was in a better position. That gave me a tremendous sense of, maybe, I was quite good at seeing the big picture in a way, but not everyone else could. Not too long ago, his phone would have been ringing off the hook. I'm quite enjoying not being in the front line every day, because I was there for quite a long time, says Nigel, who became UKIP leader in 2006, which is when, he says, this stopped being an eccentric hobby. I doubt if anyone in politics in the country has ever worked as hard as I have over the past 10 years. I wasn't just giving speeches. I was raising the money. I was doing everything. It is a hell of a burden. Apostrophe. It also nearly killed him when his plane crashed during the 2010 general election campaign. My keep on. Is.It ego. Anyone who says they don't have an ego is talking rubbish, he says. close quote. It's so awful you can't believe it. I've never given a damn about rank. I didn't even bother putting leader of UKIP on my business cards. If I'm recognised for having done things, that's much more important to me than any preferment. And now, however annoyed I am about all these concessions being put on the table by the British government at the EU negotiations, which I think is beyond what we should be doing, and despite everything I see and whatever I think of Blair or the establishment who want to stop Brexit and overturn it, I actually think there is more to be optimistic than pessimistic about. The establishment is fighting back as hard as it can, but Joe Public's not shifting. The interview is reaching an end now. Nigel is flying to Brussels tomorrow, so has work to attend to. A black cab driver picks me up outside his office. That Nigel Farage is the only one of that lot I've let in my cab, says the cabbie. A copper beckoned me over the other day outside Westminster to pick up an MP. I said, "You've got to be joking." That lot don't give a monkeys about this country. They're only in it for themselves. They forget we the ones who vote them in. Words from the street the political elite would do well to listen to.